How do you turn it on?
So if you go.
All right.
So now it's on.
Okay.
And we can just leave it that way if you want.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that moment. No, thank you. I would love to get lunch or coffee or something. Okay. I was so shocked when we got your message. I thought, oh, really? I didn't even know.
All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the state of Minnesota is now in session. The Honorable Todrick Barnett presiding.
Please be seated. Just as a reminder, this is a court session, so there's no video or photographs. Thank you.
Requiem,
good morning. It's so good to see all of you in person. I have to tell you that doing this the last 2 years on Zoom, I was less nervous. I feel like I'm being judged by my colleagues here. But I want to welcome you to the post-pandemic in person. So happy to be here. Hennepin County Bar Association Bar Memorial. On behalf of the judges and judicial officers, I just want to welcome you to this special court session and thank you for attending in person and remotely. We're here to celebrate the lives of your loved ones, family members, and friends. Please accept this memorial as an extension of our appreciation and gratitude for all the contributions of the people we celebrate today, and all of them have improved our legal community. We are sorry for your loss and wish you peace. May this memorial service bring you comfort. Now for the invocation, Judge Yellowhammer.
Good morning. I'm very honored to offer this humble prayer. Wakan Tonka, Gitchimanidu, God. Today we gather to honor our fellow brothers and sisters who have gone home to you. We gather to remember them, to say their names, to acknowledge them and what they have given in the service of others. As officers of the court, judicial officers, family members, friends, all of us, we gather today to bear witness to the lives of our brothers and sisters, who they are, and their sacrifice in the noble pursuit of justice. Help us to remember that our relationship with them continues in our hearts and together. In those times when we are downhearted and low in spirit, lift us up and help us to remember to ask for help, because we are all connected and medicine for each other. Bless our sisters and brothers who have gone home to you. Help us to honor them, not just in our memory, but through our words and actions, to put into practice the things we so admire in them: fairness, compassion, clarity, strength, humility, love. Bless those we honor today, their families, their friends, all who love them and will continue to love them all the days of our lives. Mi'yo, mitakuye wasin. Amen.
Thank you, Judge Yellowhammer. I want to thank all of the judges here from our bench that are present, and other judges from around the state and from our state court for attending this memorial service. Also the appellate court judges that are present. The Supreme Court justices, usually we have a few here. Today is the swearing in ceremony, so you won't see them present. They might be viewing this on remotely or Zoom. Also, I want to thank some of our federal judges that are present, also public officials, former public officials, dignitaries, and some of our retired judges that are present here today. At this time, I'd like to welcome Brandon Vaughn, the Hennepin County Bar Association past president.
Had the opportunity to say the names of those we've lost in the past year. Dwayne Arthur Bartz, Mary Anna Bartz, Richard Otto Bartz, Alon Beaudry, William M. Beatty, Willard Boyd, Stephen Aaron Brand, Robert S. Burke, Bruce W. Burton, Lorenz R. Commerce, the Honorable Mary Elizabeth Davidson, Ellen Dresselhuus, Edward J. Driscoll, Robert Donald Estes, Richard Wilm Evans, Norman E. Evedon, Roger Henry Fromelt, Jonathan E. Fruckertman, Lee Gordon Gotterstad, Joseph Goldberg, Mark H. Grusner, James Gurovich, Norman Keith Gerstell, William Dale Hathaway, Roy D. Hawkinson, William B. Henschel, Francis X. Herman, Loris A. Heyerdahl, Charlotte A. Jensen, David Larry Jensen, Tom Kaiser, Sister Patricia Keefe, Thomas Keller, Thomas Ray King, James Patrick Kittler, Carla Christine Shelberg, William N. Coster, Yama M. Chris, Bradley Cookshausen, Dale Irving Larson, Robert Bob Latz, George A. Leone, the Honorable Robert K. Levy, Darwin John Lookingbill, Terry Louie, Thomas McCormick, Brian K. McCamey, Tom McNeil, Ray E. Nelson Jr., Sally Olson, Melvin Orenstein, Peter Orput, Ronald Peterson, Fred Pritzker, Jeff Ross, Mark A. Ruruck, Harold Hal Sadoff, John Sharon, James Stewart Simonson, Benjamin J. Smith, Leon Adolphus Treywick, Robert Odin Vidas, Edwin George Whiteseth, Donald E. Weiss.
Thank you, Brandon. At this time, I'd like to introduce Landon Ashman, the Hennepin County Bar Association President.
May it please the court. We come together today to remember and honor our friends, family, mentors, and colleagues whom we lost this past year. These attorneys and judges together have worked across every legal area and every geographical location. but all share a connection to our Hennepin County legal community. A law professor was recently asked to present on different legal systems across the world. He's someone who has traveled far and wide and is still wise beyond his years. Instead of discussion of procedures, rules, and statutes, he stood up and told us stories of the attorneys, professors, and judges that he met. He talked about who they were, their personalities, and what made them who they are. In the end, he noted that every legal system in the world is just people. We are the legal system. And so with the passing of every professor, lawyer, and judge, a small part of our legal system goes with them. But while we have lost members of our community, we remember their contributions to our community and to the foundation of our justice system. We honor how they used the life that they were given, the people that they helped, the conflicts they worked to heal, and who they were. Those that we remember today came from across the nation, including Wisconsin, Iowa, Texas, Ohio, Washington, D.C., and of course, Minnesota. The paths to their legal practices were as diverse as the individuals themselves. Some driven and focused on the legal profession from a young age, going straight from high school to college to law school. Others turning to law as a second or even third profession. Beyond being attorneys, many that we honor here today were school teachers and law professors. Many of them served in the armed forces during World War II or the Korean War. They served as Marines, Army, Navy, and Air Force, from medics to fighter pilots. Other roles include working as a psychologist, a mechanical engineer, a restaurant owner, a banker, a Wall Street trader, a dance instructor, a pharmacist, and a nun. As attorneys, they not only served their clients, but they also served our community. They took the time to help those in need through Legal Aid Society, Tubman, National Lawyers Guild, the ACLU, Smurls, Lawyers Concerned for Lawyers, Mock Trial and Moot Court. One was the president of the University of Iowa. One, a founder of Twin Cities Diversity in Practice. Another was the founder of Minnepaha, the Minnesota Asian Pacific American Bar Association. And another still served as Dean of William Mitchell. They served as judges, referees, and commissioners. They were groundbreakers for equal rights, voting, and providing access to justice. Outside of their attorney roles, they continued to step forward to make our community better. They volunteered at food shelves, built homes with Habitat for Humanity, mentored and guided children with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and coached on numerous sports. One served on their city council, two served in the Minnesota legislature, many more served on boards and committees. They also took time to enjoy life. While some enjoyed routine and consistency, delighting in having the same exact schedule every single day, others experienced their joy in a more chaotic lifestyle, with new adventures around every corner, Some enjoyed golf, fishing, skiing, tennis, or even running in sub-zero temperatures. Even one was a chess grandmaster. Many enjoyed hiking and simply being around their dogs. It comes as no surprise that many were writers, but also painters, photographers, actors, and musicians of every type. Some would seek more extreme adventures, completing Ironman and skydiving. While doctors may be called on to heal the body, we as attorneys are called on to heal conflicts in our society. Those we honor today have met that calling. The world is a better place for their actions. Let us all commit to emulate the attorneys we remember today, so that we too can say, "Today, I was a good lawyer." I'm now pleased to introduce our keynote speaker. Andrew Luger was sworn in as the 37th United States Attorney for the District of Minnesota on March 30th, 2022. In his position, he is responsible for prosecuting federal crimes in the district. His office also represents the United States in affirmative and defensive civil cases, as well as assisting communities throughout the state in enhancing public safety efforts. Mr. Luger also previously served as Minnesota's United States Attorney from 2014 to 2017. Prior to his current role, Mr. Luger worked in the firms of Jones Day and Green Espel. He has also served as the Assistant United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York and the District of Minnesota. Throughout his career, Mr. Luger has been a dedicated public servant, and we are honored to have him join us today. Please welcome Andrew Luger.
I don't get to use one of these, so I'm going to pass it off. May it please the court. The women and men we honor and remember today were distinguished lawyers, loyal family members, and trusted friends. They came from different backgrounds and different life experiences and had personal beliefs and outlooks that spanned the spectrum. Today, I want to focus on what bound them together, the common link between these highly respected members of the bar and what binds them to us. It is a common link that in years past we took for granted because so many of us shared it. That link is an abiding commitment to the rule of law, a commitment that we all developed as early as our first year in law school, the fundamental belief that all live under the law and no one is above it, that we cherish and revere critical thought, the kind of logic and insight that was instilled in many of us through the Socratic method, and that we honed as lawyers in tough arguments, cases, and negotiations with excellent practitioners as opponents. I practiced with and against some of those we honor today, and it did not matter whether I was with them or against them. I admired these distinguished women and men for their skill, their integrity, and their tenacity. To me, nothing we do is as captivating and fulfilling as arguing in court against a skilled and well-prepared opponent, someone who relishes the practice of law as much as I do. And nothing is more sacred to me as a lawyer than our commitment to an adversary system that requires us to be at our best before independent and experienced jurists, such as those of them who are here with us today. I live in awe of this system. Those we honor grew up and perfected their craft in this simple but unique approach to justice. And for them, it became almost second nature. You learned, critiqued, questioned, and then presented your case. Win or lose, you did justice and improved our system just by participating in it at the highest levels. So why is it so important that we talk about this today? Because in these turbulent times, I believe we are in danger of losing sight of the essential tenets, the building blocks of what we call the rule of law. Not in our courts, but in our lives. The rule of law, the belief that reason and persuasion and equality stand above passion and feeling, is at the core of our democracy. And I think we can best honor our departed colleagues, friends, and loved ones by reinforcing in all walks of life the centrality of the rule of law and critical thought as we navigate a polarized world. By rejecting simplistic solutions, false narratives, and closed-minded rushes to judgment, we can stand for the values of our departed colleagues. Now, as we know, it is not uncommon to poke fun at lawyers. For the young ones here, I'm going to teach you a little bit. Shakespeare started this trend when he once proposed that we should, and you all know it, kill all the lawyers. A quote that is unfortunately so misunderstood today. When I passed the bar, a loved one, perhaps in humor, gave me a coffee mug with that quote. So I looked it up. I learned that Shakespeare, in fact, was actually honoring what lawyers do and what lawyers mean to a free society. Listen up. The quote comes from Henry VI, Part 2, Henry VI, Part 2. As one character plots to overthrow the king with a violent sidekick. In this famous colloquy, the two who seek to overthrow the current regime through violence and misinformation realize that their coup cannot succeed in a well-informed society committed to the defense of rights and fairness. Reason, logic, and facts are what lawyers represent. And according to these plotters, they must be removed to achieve the authoritarian regime they sought. Lawyers, Shakespeare recognized, are the defenders of freedom and the opponents of all evil because they adhere to a system that is above any one person. Rather than a disparagement of lawyers, the back and forth of these two characters is a testament to what we do and who we are. And if you don't believe me, and some don't, Supreme Court Justice Stevens explained this once, writing, and I quote, "As a careful reading of the text will reveal, Shakespeare insightfully realized that disposing of lawyers is a step in the direction of a totalitarian form of government." So I believe this has special meaning to us today. In 2023, we have a job to do, a job far beyond our work in court and in our offices. And we cannot allow what we stand for to be killed off, figuratively or literally. We are as critical to our community today as we were in Shakespeare's day. Our current path towards social disarray can best be addressed by those of us, I believe, who live in the tradition of the rule of law, by importing what we do during the day to the rest of our lives. Too many of us spend the day practicing in a world dominated by reason, rules, and critical thought, only to go home to a television and social media that behaves in the exact opposite way. It is as though, weary of reasoned debate, we seek refuge in the simplicity of "I am right and you are wrong." You see, when we practice before some of these judges, we don't get to say that. We join at night sometimes a fractured world in which polarization and anger towards others is the norm. A world, as George Will recently put it, in which the maxim, "I think, therefore I am," has been replaced to some extent by "I despise, therefore I am." Not the world I expect that those we honor wanted us to build. So what if we help change that narrative? What if we leave our offices each day and advance a world outside of the law in which the values of fairness, factual analysis, and critical thinking, actually challenging our own assumptions, continues on into the evening? I suggest to you that the practice of critical thinking should be our calling card at dinner parties and gatherings of like-minded friends and family, where we challenge basic assumptions and require facts, not wishful thinking or conspiracy theories. And I'll give you a hint, I do this. I also get invited to fewer and fewer family gatherings and parties. Gatherings at which one or more of us interrupt groupthink to demand to hear the other side. Those we honor today were not prone to stagnant or tunnel vision thinking, where we only hear what we want to hear. They, like many of us, grew up professionally and personally in a world in which people did not gravitate to one side or the other, forsaking anyone who disagreed. We would never have accepted George Will's definition of ourselves. We relished, as we grew up as lawyers, in debate. We sought out other opinions, approaches, and points of view. We befriended those with whom we disagreed, and we could never have imagined a world in which you could pick a channel that would reinforce only one side of any issue. And I believe if you go back decades, and if you asked any of us, I don't think we would have wanted this. It is anathema to what we do during the day, and I suggest should be rejected by all of us when we go home at night. I personally feel that I owe this to those we have lost and to those who are just getting started. We owe it to them to export our joint commitment to the rule of law and what it stands for everywhere, in our social circles, at our institutions of learning, and yes, online. We honor the memories of these fine practitioners today every time we question our own assumptions. When we listen, truly listen, to those with whom we otherwise disagree and engage in reasoned debate. And when we protect everyone's right to say and hear other points of view. The rule of law is alive and well in the Hennepin County courts and in our offices. Let's renew our commitment to bring it to life in our society. If we do, we honor the great memories of those who have passed. Thank you.
On behalf of the Hennepin County Bar Association, the staff, and the Bar Memorial Committee, it is my honor to move that the court accept into its archives this Bar Memorial booklet for 2023. This is a testament to the lives of our colleagues who passed away and their contributions to our profession and the community. We hope that all the people here in person and live streamed will find renewed appreciation and gratitude for the women and men who have gone before us. Thank you, Your Honor, and no further comments.
On behalf of the 4th Judicial District Court, I accept this booklet into the court records. Thank you.
If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. I shall not live in vain. I shall not live in vain. Or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. I shall not live in vain. I shall not live in vain.
I want to thank all of you for attending today's special event. One thing I want to tell you, that's the former chief judge who's retired, who was doing the singing today. When I retire, I do not plan to come back and sing for you. I just want to make sure that that's clear. You would not want me to sing for you. A very special thank you to all of the members of the Hennepin County Bar Memorial Committee. They just do a fantastic job of helping put on this program. Thanks for all the help for the people behind the scenes who've done a great job for us. The slide presentation will run again when we're done here today. And also, just to let you know, the memorial program will be on YouTube sometime this afternoon. It is so good to see all of you in person and not have to talk to a screen as I've done the last 2 years. I really appreciate you being here. I want you to have a great day. We are adjourned. Thank you.